progressively. But it was an intention of God that at the dispensation of this time, it was going to come to the Gentiles. So first, salvation came to the Jews. At a particular point in time, when Jesus Christ came onto this earth, he came for the Jews first. But it does not mean also that God did not have plans for the Gentiles. God has a work salvation plan in a way that it was going to come to the Gentiles. But it was not time yet for the Gentiles. So indeed, when this Canaanite woman came to Jesus Christ, crying out, saying, Lord, have mercy on me, son of David. She recognized that David apparently was the father of Jesus Christ. In the other words, the woman came to the full recognition that God has planned through David that a time will come that the Savior will come. She understood that the Savior was from the line of David. So she addressed him and said that, Son of David, have mercy on me. For my daughter is grievously being tormented. My daughter is sick. My daughter is going through an affliction of the devil. And as time went on, this Canaanite woman, who did not know what to do, never gave up. She kept on crying. She kept on crying. She kept on crying. One thing I want you to understand is this. One, beloved, healing is available for everybody who desperately cried out unto the Lord. If today you are going to be like the Canaanite woman, I can tell you the mercies and the compassion of the Lord will come to you. This woman who has come to Jesus Christ was desperate. But Jesus made her to understand that healing was meant for God's children. Indeed, it was not appropriate for healing to come to those who were not God's children. That is to say that you were a Canaanite. Even though I have come for the world, but in God's timing, it was for the lost sheep of the nation Israel. In God's timing, it was for the nation Israel, the Jews, to taste the reality of God's healing for his children. One thing I want you to understand, beloved, is this. God has made provision for our healing. But it is up to you to believe. It is up to you to cry out. It is up to you to desperately seek for healing. He cannot force you. The Bible tells me that as this Canaanite woman continuously banging the door, Jesus looked at her and never said a word. Jesus had compassion for her, but he didn't say a word to her because she was waiting for the right time to talk to this woman. So we are trying to find out the few principles that are underlying this biblical text so as to come to the reality that God has made healing available for all his children. And if you're a student of the Bible and you read Matthew chapter 15:26 and come to understand that Jesus profoundly making that statement that healing is for children, is for God's children. Healing is children's bread. It is not meat for the dogs. It doesn't mean the woman was a dog. It doesn't mean the woman apparently was an outcast. But Jesus wanted the woman to understand one important thing: the healing for children. And indeed, if you read the 27, which I want to read, it says, and then she came and worshiped, and then she said, "True, Lord, Yet the dog eats the crumbs which fell from the master's table. It is an indication that she recognized the healing was for God's children. But she said, look, Lord, even though I know that the dogs eat the crumbs, what fell from the table is meant for the dog. So that is to say that, have mercy on me. I understand healing is not meant for me. Healing is meant for God's children. But today, have mercy on me and healed my child. One of the things that I want you to understand, beloveds, is this. The desperation of this woman teaches us a lot when we are seeking for divine healing as God's children. The Bible tells us that by the fact that Jesus came to die for us, anybody that believes in him as the Lord and personal Savior, to him they are given the right to become the children of God, even those who believe in his name. So by your acceptance of Jesus as the Lord and Savior qualifies you for divine healing. Healing is meant for children, God's children. But the multi-dollar question is, why are believers not come to the reality of this truth? Why? If healing is for God's children, then why do we have so many Christians who are languishing in pains, who are languishing in affliction, who are languishing in various kinds of diseases? Today, I want to open your eyes of understanding to come to the reality that God has made available healing for all his children. If you are going to seek healing out of desperation, like this Canaanite woman, you can see the goodness and experience his compassion. I want to say that healing has not ceased in the church, but one of the reasons why that we have a bunch of believers who are going through pains is simple. One, fears have creeped a lot of believers and depriving them of the reality of divine healing. Number two, there are a lot of believers who are full of doubts when they are seeking for healing, maybe from an affliction where the doctors have said there's nothing you can do about your sickness. They doubt. Their doubt is all coming from the fact that they don't believe it, whether indeed God truly can heal them. Today, I want to bring you to a reality here in the biblical text of Matthew, for you to come to an understanding that this Canaanite woman was simply not even qualified for healing, but out of desperation, out of cry, mercy. She experienced mercy. She experienced compassion. If you're going to get out of fear, if you're going to get out of doubt and seek for healing, you can experience exactly what the same Canaanite woman experienced. The third reason why people really will not seek for divine healing is that it is not